Yep. Yep.
Streaming is on.
And will it be 16 and
Hey guys, good morning. Hope everyone had a good break. I'm just going to wait about a minute. Looks like I got on a little bit early, but we're going to continue to work on decimals. Okay. All right, you guys. I guess the first thing I want to do is we're going to do some word problems, but want to make sure that we are clear on when we do some multiplication. So if we have like any number, so let's just say 15 times, let's say we're going to do times 8.55. So what you guys might want to do is we might want to put a couple zeros right there just so everything looks in balance for you. There's two numbers, the 5 and the 5 to the right of the decimal, and also up here that there's two numbers to the right of the decimal. Okay. And then what we would do is just a straight multiplication problem. But the one thing I want you to see now is there are four numbers, well, four spots to the 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right of the decimal. Okay. So this one's going to be straightforward. It would be 0, 0, 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2, 5 times 5 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Then we're going to move over 1, so that's going to be 0, 0, that's 25. Carry the 2, and that's going to be 7. And the last thing would be the 8, so it would be 0, 0, 40. Carry the 4, 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12. And then we just bring everything down. Now, remember I said there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we want to do is we want to move the decimal 4 places to the left. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Get that up there. So it's going to be 128.25. These zeros you can put in there, you don't need to, but just keep in mind whenever you multiply with a decimal, and in this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 numbers to the right of the decimal that when you're done, you want to move the decimal the same amount of places to the left. So there's 4 up here. So we want to move it 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how we got 128.25. Let's just do another one, and we won't use this. So if we do like 6 times, if we had 6 times 8.2. Okay, so if we line that up, we would do 6.0 times 8.2. Okay, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 6 is 12, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 6 is 48, 0, 2, 9, 4. Now remember there's 2 places, 1, 2, so we want to move the decimal, so it's going to be 49.2. $49.2. Okay. And once again, when you look at this, if we're multiplying decimals, you're going to realize I see that there are 2 places, the 0 and the 2 are to the right of the decimal. So when I get my final answer, I want to move the decimal 2 places to the left, and we get 49.20. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind. Once again, you didn't have to put the 0 there. I did it because it makes the problem seem a little more even. It looks better. You certainly don't have to do that. Okay, so let's look at a word problem with decimals now. So it says Kathy earns, and this, you can tell this is old, $6.50 per hour at her babysitting job. On Sunday, she works 7 hours. And it says, what were her total earnings for that day? Okay, so let's read this again. It says Kathy earns $6.50. So one thing you want to keep in mind, you know how much she makes an hour, so you might want to just circle $6.50 per hour at a babysitting job. On Sunday, she worked 7 hours, so that's going to be important. And then it asks, what were her total earnings? So how much money did she make on that day? Total earnings. Okay, so it's going to be, this is going to be a multiplication problem because it's asking you how much she makes an hour, which is $6.50, times the number of hours she worked. Okay, so what that's really asking you is she makes $6.50 an hour times 7 hours. Okay, so it's going to be a multiplication problem because you're trying to find out how much she earned on Sunday. Okay, so if we're going to do this, we would do $6.50, and we're going to put the zeros in here again. Now remember, we look at this, we know that now there are 4 numbers to the right of the decimal. So when we get done, we want to move the decimal 4 places to the left. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. And one thing you guys, which you can do, is we can just do these columns. Remember, sometimes that makes it easier for us to kind of keep everything in line. So 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. And 0 times 6 is 0. And then what we're going to have is 7 times 0. 7 times 5 is 35. You want to carry the 3. And 7 times 6 is 42. Plus the 3 is 45. So 0, 0, 0, 5, 45. And remember, we want to move it 4 decimal places over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what she earned was 45.5, which is $45.50. Okay, so if we went back up to this problem, oops, I'm sorry. So we want to look at what she earns. That's always going to be important, is a $6.50. And then how many hours did she work that week, or that day, excuse me, it was 7. So we want to multiply the 7 times the $6.50, okay? And one thing most of us know, 7 times 6 is 42. So before you do it, you're going to it's going to be about $42, plus a little bit more because there's 50 cents. So if you get an answer, it's like $450, you probably don't have the decimal in the right spot. You're like, that doesn't make sense because she only works 7 hours and she's only making $6.50 an hour. So that's how you know maybe if your decimal's out of whack. Like if you got $450 and we have the decimal here, like, that probably doesn't make sense because she only worked 7 hours and she's only making $650. So it's probably not $455. So what that tells you is you probably have the decimal in the wrong spot. You want to go back and make sure that you've done everything right, and you want to basically count. And if I count up here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to make sure that you move the decimal. Excuse me. Thank you. Move the decimal 4 places to the left. Okay. Let's do another one. Okay. So this one, it says school lunches cost $224.75 for 15.5 weeks. About how much would the lunches, oops, my pen just stopped working, cost per week. So we're trying to find out how much lunches cost per week. So we know there's 15 and a half weeks. And we know the total for 15 and a half weeks is $224.75. So basically, you guys, what this is going to be, this is not going to be a multiplication. It's going to be division because we're trying to find per week. Okay, so this is a division problem. So what we're going to do is, we know what the total cost is. It's $224.75. And we know for 15 weeks, 15.5. So we want to try to find out how much they cost per week. Okay, and one thing we can do here to make this a little bit easier is we can move both decimal places to the right. So we want to get this 15.5, we want to make it 155. So we're just going to move it 1 place to the right. And this one, the same thing, we're going to move it 1 place to the right. So then we're going to have 2247.5. And remember, the first thing we want to do with the division problem is move this decimal up. I'm going to erase this up here so we have a little more space. And then it's going to be a division problem. How many times is 155 going to 224? Well, we know it's 1 time. Because 2 would be 310, so that's going to be 1. And then we do the 1 times 155, 155. And then we subtract. Okay, we're going to have to borrow. So 14 minus 5 is 9. That's now a 1. We have to borrow again. So that's going to be a 1. So that's going to be 11 minus 5 is 6. So it's 69. And then we have to bring the 7 down. And how many times does 155 go into 697? Well, it's going to be 4 times. And then we multiply the 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2, 22. Carry the 2 again, that's 6. So that's going to be 697. So that's going to be 7, 7. And we want to bring 5 down. And how many times does 155 go into 775? We can get this decimal out here, I'm sorry. That would be 5 times. But remember, we brought this decimal up. So 155 goes into 775 5 times. So what we found out is it's 14.5. So it says how much school lunches cost a week? That's $14.50. Okay. So let's just do another division problem here, you guys. So if we had like 23.8 into, let's say 440.84. What you want to do is we want to move this decimal place one to the right and that one to the right. Okay, so then we would have 238 into 444.8.4. And the first thing you want to do is move this decimal place up there. So we know where the decimal is going to go. So then we know that 238 goes into 444 once. So that'd be 238. Then we're going to subtract. So 14 minus 8 is 6. That now becomes a 3. That's going to be 0, and that's going to be 2. So it's 206. Then we bring the 8 down. So now we have 238 into 268. And you guys, I know these are a little bit bigger, but you can certainly pull your calculator out now. So just get an idea. So if I do 10, 10 is going to be 2380. So that's a little bit, it's just one too big. So we're going to go down to 9. Okay. So 9 times 8 is 72. So we're going to put the 2 down, carry the 7. 9 times 3 is 21, plus a 7 is going to be 8. We carry the 2. 9 times 2 is 18, plus a 2 is 20. So what we've done, we can see the bottom number is bigger than the top number. So it's 9 is too big also. So what that's going to tell us, if you didn't have a calculator, that it's going to be 8. Because when we multiplied the 9 times the 238, we got 2082. And that is just a little bit bigger than the 2068. So what this tells us is instead of 19, it's going to be 18. And then what you would do is we'd erase this, and that's 2068. And then we just multiply the 238 times the 8. That's going to be 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 6. The 8 times the 3 is 24, plus 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19. And then it's going to be 8 minus 4 is 4. 6 minus 0 is 6. And then the 20 minus the 19 is 1. And then you would bring the 4 down, and you do the exact same process. You do 238 into 164, which I think is 6. It's going to be 6 or 7. And if you have a calculator, you can certainly do 1644 divided by 238 and see what you get. And that's how we would do basically a division problem. So I'm going to post some word problems. They're going to be division and multiplication and combination. And just remember when you're doing division problems, if you have like a decimal here, the 238, you want to move it over 2 places. But if you move it over 2 places there, the other one you have to move over 2 places, okay? And always remember when we're doing division, once you get the decimal down there, is to bring it straight up to the top first thing. All right, you guys, we will pick this up again tomorrow. Have a wonderful, actually on Wednesday, excuse me. So have a wonderful day, and I'll post some practice so you guys can try some of these on your own. If you can't get them, that's fine. We'll go over this again on Wednesday. All right, have a wonderful day, you guys. Bye.